Hello and welcome back to Shamrock Foods Kitchen Conversations, where we talk to Shamrock partners just like you about how they approach the restaurant business, stay on top of trends, and manage a successful restaurant business. I'm your host, Jeff Pivin, business solutions consultant with Shamrock Foods, and I'm joined today with a long-awaited guest. I've been waiting for a long time for this one to come up on the schedule. Miss Kyleena Falzone, owner of Secret Stash Pizza in Crested Butte, Colorado. Good afternoon, Kyleena. Are you there? Yes.
I am. How are you?
That's awesome. Sorry, sometimes we struggle with the tech, and then I get real fired up when it works. Especially for this one, I didn't want to miss it.
We love when the tech works.
No doubt. So everyone out there, Verlin's here. Verlin is always on time. Everyone out there, if you want to comment and get in on this conversation, because it's going to be a doozy, comment down below the stream, and we can answer your question live. This is going to be a bomb on culture, leadership, and employee retention. Super excited. So, Kyleena, let's dig in. Tell us, the hat is killing. Tell us about how you got into the industry.
So, my God, I've been in an apron since I was 5 years old. Both of my grandparents were in the business. One of my grandfathers had a butcher shop. My other grandfather on my father's side had an Italian deli and grocery store. So I've hung out with them in the business since I was very young. I used to watch my grandfather get up at 4 in the morning every day and go to the Broadway market where he would select all his fruits and vegetables for the day for his customers. My grandfather had a store for 45 years on the west side of Buffalo. So I've always been involved in restaurants. And then when I was 19 years old, I decided to go visit my family in Sicily. So I did a 1,000-mile bike trip from Rome down to Sicily to the Butte and met my family. They live in Vallelunga, which is a dead center of Sicily. And all they knew is like the Italian cousin from America was coming, and they had a picture of me because we didn't have the internet back then.
Oh, right.
Just had a photo of what I looked like and picked me up, and went to town, and my family had a huge Italian pizzeria in this big open piazza in Sicily. And I was watching my cousins, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I knew instantly I wanted to go into the restaurant business, in the pizza business, but I was young. I was only 19 when I had gone. So I needed to gain the experience first and go work for some of the world's best restaurateurs. And I did that for several years, and then opened my first restaurant when I was 28 years old.
That's young. That's not the youngest I've ever heard of. And now you're writing a book to share your story with everyone, right?
Yeah, I'm on my third draft. The book is named The Art of Wearing Many Hats, and just really talks about building a culture and living your dreams and not listening to the negative stuff that goes with all of that, creating a community and a culture and overcoming challenges and just shooting for the stars and going for your dreams. I'm on the third draft. I have a really interesting last chapter that I'm working on right now that I can't divulge, but I'm excited to share this book once it's finished.
We're all excited to read it. So much more than a restaurant. Tell us about Secret Stash Pizza.
Say that one more time.
Sorry, you're so much more than a restaurant. You're not just a restaurant.
Yeah, I was actually at work.
You're a movement.
Yeah, I was actually at work last night, and a customer came up and said, "Oh, are you guys just a pizza place?" And I'm like, "No way! We're so much more than that. We are an experience. We are massive community members in so many different areas. We're culture builders. We're visionaries. We're forever optimists. We really, really pride ourselves on an incredible experience when people are in our restaurant, from the decor, from the music, from my incredible staff, which I have one of the most amazing staffs out there. A lot of them have been with me a long time. They put their heart and soul into these restaurants, and I'm super proud to be, just so much more than a restaurant. We're such an experience. I just wrote a post today that, we were doing birthday parties for our customers' 1-year-olds, and now we're doing graduation parties. So it's a lifetime of experiences and relationships with my customers. It's so much more about than just the food.
Well, and so this restaurant is 300 seats. And
actually, with the summer, we're seating pushing about 400.
I wish that you could walk around like you did before and show us the inside of this restaurant. It's incredible.
I could probably do a hot lap. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to put it on my phone.
We're already having enough trouble with my mic. I'm going to try and fix that.
Yeah, I don't want to lose you.
Well, our hot topic today that I've been dying to ask you about, we're going to make our way through this show any way we can. Labor shortage is a hot topic. How do you retain your employees? Hit us with all the good stuff. You built a hostel. Take us through that. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, we built employee housing, and currently in the process of trying to purchase a hostel here in town. So, I do a lot of stuff for my staff. I was always on the receiving end. I was always a waiter, a busboy, a bartender, a server when I was younger. And I just really saw what kind of mistakes people had made and the good guys, what they did. So I just said if I was ever going to be a boss, I was going to be the best boss that I could be and really work on employee retention and building a culture and a family instead of turning and burning people out and then just constant turnover. I don't love constant turnover. I really think the restaurant is a real business. I know that some people, I'll get the server that's like, oh, my mom and dad really want me to get a real job. And I feel that real jobs are like restaurants. I've had many managers that raise children, have families, were able to buy investment properties working with us. So we offer 401ks for our employees. So I match dollar for dollar up to 3% of their revenue.
Wow.
I'm always promoting health and well-being. We all know that drugs and alcohol are synonymous in the restaurant business. It's definitely something I try to steer away from. I offer free yoga. We do free meditation. I came in the other day and my kitchen staff were working their butts off, and I gave every single one of my kitchen guys a massage to go take care of themselves. And I really pushed that fact of living a healthy and meaningful life is going to transfer into your business life and where you work. And I really do try to promote healthy relationships with my employees, definitely.
Right. And you start them young, right? We were on the phone and you were chatting. There was a young man, he was probably 15 or 16, and he knew the whole restaurant.
Yeah, I do train young. I get some young guys. Another way to build the culture in a small community is, train and encourage your high school students, people in your area that we know are going to be here for 4 years and then possibly go to college here. And then I get my employees to stay for a really long time, that we don't have that constant turnover. I have right now during the pandemic, during this, employee housing shortage and employee shortage, we have about 145 staff on payroll.
Wow.
I'm really lucky to have that. I thank my staff every day. Thank you for coming and choosing to work with our family. And, I give them a lot of recognition because I'm only so good. I tell my staff, I can have killer atmosphere. I can have awesome food. I can have great decor, but it's really the staff that make the difference. They are on the front lines, and if they're happy, then customers are happy and the restaurant's happy. It's just how it works.
That is spot on. Take care of your people, and your people will take care of your customers. That is spot on. Also, we were talking, and you guys get some pretty massive tips.
Yeah.
In the restaurant. Tell us about some of those stories are like, they blew my mind.
We had a story just this week, just a couple days ago. I do this tip matching program on my menu where we try to incentivize, if customers want to help the kitchen, it says, here's your chance to hook up the kitchen. It's a $5 tip or a $20 tip. If there's a $1,000 tip, the Secret Stash will match it. So I had a guy and his family sitting at the bar a couple days ago. He's a Denver contractor. He threw a $1,000 tip at the kitchen because he knew I was going to match it. So that was $1,000 in 1 minute. And then another table overheard what was going on. They were from Midland, Texas. So they threw another $1,000 at it. So our kitchen made $6,000 in kitchen tips in literally 5 minutes. And then he also left the bartender another $1,000. And so
it's incredible.
That just shows, you know, I'm willing to take care of my staff. My managers work off of a bonus program. So, and I tell my kitchen, like, every single time a ticket is coming in and hitting the floor, you guys are getting a percentage of that. We really have a really cohesive relationship between the back of the house and the front of the house. We don't have too much division there. You know, my pizza guys are running out pizzas to the tables, and bus boys are running drinks because they all realize that. I always tell them, I'm like, you guys, I always tell my staff, who do you think pays you? You know, and this is from Tim Manis, actually.
He's on here. He says legalize marinara. You see him on there?
Tim has been.
What's up, Tim?
Tim, what's up? Tim has been a big mentor for me. I have all of my staff read his books, even still to this day. I have waiters that like get their own pens with their names on them. I have this waiter, his name is Pink. He's phenomenal. And one of the waiters overheard Pink talking to a table, and he came up to me. He's like, Kyleena, Pink must make like $200,000 a year waiting tables. He's that good. And so I always tell my staff, just like Tim taught me, who do you think pays you? It's not me. The money comes from the customers. I take it in and I redistribute it to you. So like, I just never understand people that are in bad moods or don't want to be in the restaurant business. Like if you don't love hospitality, then don't get into it, because it has to be a labor of love, and it's something genuine, and it's something that comes from like your inside of like genuinely wanting to take care of people, you know. And I take a lot of pointers from Danny Myers. He's another one of my mentors, who I actually had the chance to meet in New York because of Shamrock. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's another one. You know, I took a lot of Danny's philosophies and I wrote a hospitality manifesto. And I have my staff read this before they even interview with us. I'm like, this
is part of your onboarding process. You go through this document, right?
Part of the onboarding is I sit them down before I even sit an interview. I go, check this out, read this manifesto. This is the company that you're working for. We're much more than a restaurant. We donate our time to nonprofits and different organizations around our community. You know, I do care how people act outside of work. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, what people do outside is none of your business. And I believe that to a point, but I also want people to know that like what you do, your reputation is really important, and how you carry yourself and how you're acting outside of work and how we treat other people. I just wrote a big thing today because Texas gets a lot of crap here in Colorado about like, oh, all the Texans are coming. And it's funny, I wear, a lot of the time I'll put a Texas hat on. I love my Texas. Oh, awesome. Was at the Secret Stash last Saturday. Thanks, Mike. Yes. Thank you. I know. I saw it. That was super cool. So it's, you know, how you behave out of work. You're representing our company. We're really looking for people that are really passionate about what they do. And that's how we build our culture here at Secret Stash. And another cool thing is now it's taken on such a big form of itself where, say there's somebody new in the company, a new waiter. all the staff looks out for them and encourages them and empowers them. And sometimes maybe they don't work, and I know really quickly whether they're going to fit the culture or not. So it's not just me looking for this, the whole staff looks
self-police
for the success of the restaurant. It's phenomenal.
Well, let me ask you what might be on some minds out there across the Western United States where we deliver. Maybe you don't. Maybe this restaurateur doesn't have good cohesiveness between front of house. They have issues with turnover. Is there a starting point that you can, how can they start to do this? Because all of this is a great idea. How can we get started?
I think the most valuable lesson I've learned in the restaurant, and I think one that gets skipped a lot because restaurants are busy and we don't have a lot of time, is really lacking in the onboarding. And those first 2 days of somebody coming into your company are critical to the success of how that person is going to work out. We spend time with them. We sit down. We have them read everything. We show them around. They have 3 days of training. We have YouTube channels now on how to make our drink so the bartenders can train at home. We have, Quizlets. We have lots of little apps where we're really trying to set the employee up for success. I see so many times where they're like, cool, you're hired. Go follow that guy for a couple hours.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, they're face-to-face with your customer. So I think onboarding is a critical piece in running a restaurant that has a strong culture and that works like a well-oiled machine. And you got to break it down into departments. It's not like an overall thing. It's like the bartenders have their own. The servers have their own. The FOH support staff has their training. We break it down into such small pieces where when you walk into a large restaurant like ours, it can be overwhelming. Yeah. But when you break it down into everybody just does their little piece, then the whole thing works so much better.
Right.
So onboarding, I think, is my number one thing I would say. And treating people with respect and compassion and appreciation is the days of yelling at your staff and thinking that you're above them is just over in my eyes.
Right. I love it. And I hope that this message touches a lot of folks out there, because I've talked to folks where they're like, oh man, I get these employees and they kind of suck. And man, it's just so tragic to see the employer-employee relationship go down like that. It's really painful. As an ex-trainer, ex-corporate trainer, the more love I poured into the training and onboarding and really caring and getting to know the staff, it just pays dividends. And you're just a shining example of, that's why I was so excited to get you on this show, just because people have got to hear this.
Yeah, and you gotta, and it's like, it's not even like, I know, the Secret Stash is a little bit larger company and, we can afford doing different things, but like there's little things that you can do. Like for an example, everyone's sick of eating pizza every day. So I went to the deli and I got beautiful boar head sandwiches and brought them in the morning for everybody. Or I run down to Nikki's Donuts. It's another one of my favorite restaurants in town. And got donuts and I bring them in for the staff and, take time to like really honor the people that are working their asses off for.
Yes. I love that you use that word. I love that you use that word. Underutilized for sure. Yeah. Honoring.
And sharing with them.
Honoring the service, right.
Honoring the service and, just taking time to like teach them the why. Not just how we do it, do it this way, but why we do it this way. The number is we all have to work 90,000 hours in our lifetime. 90,000 hours. I want to work with compelling, awesome people that teach me stuff. I'm not always like it's my way or the highway. I have members that work in really good restaurants from all over the world. If they have a good idea, I want to hear it. Tell me.
Yeah.
Let me hear it. If you think we can do it a better way, awesome. Let's fix it. I also try to do, it's difficult, but I do try to do EDMs, employee developmental meetings with them every 6 months where we sit down and we're like, you guys, what would you, I always tell my staff when I sit down with them, I'm like, if I gave you the keys to this restaurant tomorrow, what are the first 3 things you'll change? And I always ask them that because I want to see what it is. But it was funny. I asked my partner that yesterday, and he said, I would get rid of the sidewalk chalk because we give sidewalk chalk to all the kids, and there's just graffiti on the sidewalk every single day.
Oh, wow.
But the customers love it.
And the kids will remember that.
Oh, God, they come. And seriously, take care of the kids. The kids determine where the parents will eat.
For sure.
That's a honest quote, too. And I have families that will brag. This is our 3rd time here this week. It's the 3rd time here because our kids love it, you know? And so that's super, super important, you know, to be able to like capture those people. If someone's in town for 3 nights, I want them at the Secret Stash 2 or 3 nights. And I get them. They come back. They love my servers. I mean, that's like one of the best things an owner can hear is we love your food. It's another Danny Myers thing. Love your food, love your atmosphere, but we come back because your people are so
right.
So investing in your people is really an important piece of succeeding. And
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
38% we're up this week.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not season for you guys, right? Your season doesn't start until Thanksgiving.
Well, our summer season, we're in the crux of it right now. So July is pretty busy. July and August, then we'll have a little bit of a lull, and then we'll ramp back up right after Thanksgiving.
Nice. So you have 2 seasons.
2 seasons. We have June 15th through October 15th. And then November we'll take a little break. And then we go December through April 7th. So
it's funny that you know it to the day.
Yeah, I know it to the day, you know, and I encourage my staff to like, I do airline tickets. You know, I pay my credit card bills with Shamrock Foods. I have really big bills every week. I think I get a ticket every couple days. And so I'll do free round trip airline tickets to my servers that have highest sales. I'll do it to my kitchen people who have the most consecutive hours worked for the season. And you gotta you gotta share the wealth, owners. You gotta do it. You have to do it. You have to share.
This show is full of hacks. Tim Manis, I hope you're taking notes, brother, because I'm going to need you to record all this so that we can share this with the world. If you're just joining us, I'm sorry that you missed most of the first half of this show. This is Kyleena Falzone. She is the culture queen. Kills it at every turn with the staff, the food, the service, the environment, the ambiance. If you have any questions, type them in. You can see we've been busy with the questions and comments in here. Let's talk for a minute about some pressing items. You just opened a new place, a new operation right next door, right?
Well, we opened the bar. So during the pandemic, probably at the worst time, I built a 3rd bar on the property.
Oh, okay.
So the 3rd bar services all the outdoor seating. So yeah, it's really a whole
new profit center.
New profit center. That's what we're looking for sure. There we go. Culture queen. Yeah, Tim. Yeah, so we just opened that during, it took us 76 days to build. I had to be open by June 27th was my date. We met our target date, and it's absolutely crushing it.
Way to go. Way to go. And I thought I remember you telling me the pandemic was some of your record periods, right? Your record sales periods.
We had the best year ever during the pandemic, and we were up about 30% for the entire year.
That's so wild. So any of you out there that think that taking care of your folks doesn't have a business impact, you've got it flipped on its head. Let's talk about the menu, because I want to talk about food for a minute. This is a foods show. So tell us about some new items on the menu. I understand your Shamrock rep has a pizza named after him. Talk to us about that.
Yes, Chris Woodward. He's my favorite. I've been working with Chris for, oh my God, it has to be close to 15 years or something like that. Whenever
Wow.
over from Renee, I've been pretty loyal customer with Shamrock the whole round. I have people trying to get me to switch on the daily. I think having relationships is really important. Sometimes, only very sometimes Shamrock can't get me what I need, and that's the only time, but it's very rare.
That's pretty rare, and we're in Aurora. We're building a brand new giant warehouse. The thing is bigger than the one that we've got here in Phoenix. So we're going to continue to be able to bring you all the support you need. And we need a Manus pizza and we need a Pivin pizza. I mean, just maybe.
We do. And you know, a lot of the stuff I always try to find difficult stuff. I've been trying to get blue cheese and ranch in a 5-gallon bucket. So if ever anybody can make that happen, we need it in buckets. We can't use it in gallons. Most restaurants go through those 2 items. I need them in a huge 5-gallon bucket.
Here, Manus, you got your work cut out for you, buddy. We got a new project.
He knows. We've been talking about that.
He thought he was just going to watch a podcast. He thought he was going to watch an interview, and now he's got work to do. Sorry, man. Sorry. Well, there's one other thing. Your new bar, your new profit center, you're more profitable and busier than ever. And on top of that, the hats that you're wearing, the hat that I'm wearing, you've got all these revenue streams. Tell us about the merch, because the merch is not only readily available, easy to order, it's also super stylish. Tell us about that, because that seems like a whole different category, but it's like it's right in line.
Yeah, it is insane the amount of merchandise we sell. You know, always, these bling hats, I have them in every single city from my customers. So I have Vail, Aspen, Denver, Oklahoma, Kansas, Denver, Houston, Austin, Fort Worth. So the customers love, they're flashy, you know, we really try to like push it a little bit with our merchandise. Like, check out this shirt I just made. This is new. Can you read it?
If you can read this, I'm helping another awesome customer.
So we just put it on the market. Just, you know, it's just, we're always coming up with fun merchandise, but like, I think that's an underutilized revenue source for so many restaurants.
Sure.
We sell socks, hoodies, buffs, coaches jackets. We bottle our own hot sauce and our own barbecue sauce. So everything that we use in the restaurant, we bottle it. We sell our own Bloody Mary mix. So if someone's like, oh, we love your Bloody Marys, we're like, awesome. The servers know to push our merchandise.
Sure.
If anyone
it only raises their ticket, right?
Oh yeah, it raises ticket averages. If anybody buys a pizza, they get one of our classic skull shirts for $10.
Wow, I mean, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, our merch revenue is combined probably close to what one server section will bring in one night. So it's a substantial,
that's crazy.
Substantial number. You can check all the merch out on secretstash.com.
And secretstash.com, that's where I got the hat. I paid for it. It was an honor to do so. And then in the restaurant, your merch is set up, and it's not just like what you would see in another restaurant where it's like they made some T-shirts and then they just kind of put them in the corner to collect dust, and maybe somebody is going to seek that out. Like it's displayed, again, with honor. Just like right in line with the culture.
We have a whole section dedicated to our merchandise. And we have a hostess that's there to help the customer look at stuff, try stuff on. So part of the culture is, getting people to get out in our stuff. They have a good time at the Secret Stash, and they want to advertise it when they get to Texas or Kansas or California. People send me pictures of the stash merchandise in all different places. I mean, I've seen it in India and
no way.
Yeah, all over the world.
That's funny.
And I always get a text when somebody sees it, or they'll see like a piece of our merchandise in a thrift store in Denver, and then I get a picture of it. It's so fun. It's really fun. Actually, there was one bad time. Somebody sent me a video. It was during the riots when the pandemic first hit. There was a riot in Austin, and there's a guy lighting a mattress on fire, and it's got a Secret Stash shirt on.
No!
I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. How would you do that? You know, and then someone's like, you're going to get in trouble. I'm like, dude, I can't. You bought it at a thrift store. I don't know.
And then you got a phone call like, do you know this man?
Yeah, it was.
It doesn't work for me. My employees would never light fires.
Yeah, we had it on slow-mo. We were trying to find out if we could see what the person looked like. It was pretty funny.
We only riot when you ban pizza.
Oh, my dad just jumped on. Hi, Dad. He's in New York.
He says, great show.
A great show. Thank you.
Awesome. Well,
oh, and then, yeah, you know what happened last week? You don't know yet. Since then, we had we did a photo shoot Saturday with United Airlines. We are going to be featured in the Hemisphere magazine this September issue.
Cool. They like saw you. They're like, who's stacking up the most amount of points here? And it's Secret Stash Pizza. They're like, we got to find out more about that. How does she have all these miles?
Yeah, we have lots of miles.
Well, you're having a lot of success. There are some folks out there that are maybe still struggling because of their market or whatever is happening with their business. Is there one piece of advice that you can give to an operator out there that needs it?
If I had to give them one piece of advice?
Yeah, to somebody that just needs a little help.
I mean, the first thing, you know, I always go back to it is really, really take time in who you bring into your organization, in your interview process, and get people that are really passionate about the hospitality business. This isn't second nature. You can tell people, you can tell during, I would rather close a section down in my restaurant if I was short staffed than just bring anyone in. And I know everybody's like, they got a heartbeat, I'm hiring. It's a bad decision. It's a bad decision. You're going to make it for yourself. Take the time to really understand the person you're interviewing. And another thing too that I see, I have had employees that I've brought in who did really bad in a certain area of the restaurant and then super excelled at a different one. So
like bad as a server, but great as a hostess or an expo person.
Yes. Or I had a guy that came in and he was, he had a little anxiety. And I was like, I talked to him. I spent a lot of time with this kid in the interview. And I said, well, where do you get the anxiety from? He's like, it's just like being multitasking is too much for me. I'd rather have an area where it's repetitive. So we put him in the dough room where you're just cutting and weighing dough away from all the crazy stress of the restaurant. And he's panned out incredibly. So like maybe they don't work. I've even had it, to tell you the truth, I've even had it between two restaurants. I had a server that wasn't doing really good at Bones, our Mexican restaurant. We brought him to the Secret Stash, killed it. Killed it.
Wow.
So sometimes you just, the atmosphere or what position they're in, talk to them, find out what they like to do. And you know, it's really amazing what happens when you start listening to your employees. They're smart people. You know, Steve Jobs.
It's really amazing what might happen if you listen.
Hire people who are smarter than you. Mark Stilley asked a question. You've been approached several times about franchising. What are your thoughts on that? Well, I actually have two irons in the coal right now that I can't really talk about. I have some NDAs I signed, but I am always actively looking for another opportunity. I'm crossing my fingers on one. Colorado will be very happy if this one comes to fruition.
Nice. So stay tuned for more Secret Stash to work its way north into the rest of Colorado and hopefully down south, selfishly, to Arizona so we can get a taste. It's been an amazing show. Thank you, everybody that has commented. We'll get back to you if we didn't answer your question. I'm really sorry, but we're out of time, Kyleena. Thank you so much for joining me today on Kitchen Conversations. I really appreciate it. It's the best show I think I've ever done. No offense to anyone else, but your energy is just infectious. Thank you for taking the time and spending it with us.
Thank you. I love talking to the public, and I love encouraging and inspiring people, and life is what you make it, and it's all mindset, folks. Get out there and crush it.
Right on. Crush it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the next Kitchen Conversations. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.